NXT from November the 11th, 2025 was a really fun episode of NXT. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. The main event was solid. I love what they're doing with Tatum Paxley. So NXT still remains one of the best wrestling show of the week. And this episode is going to kickstart Gold Rush, which is a 2-week event starting next Tuesday, November the 18th, and it will conclude on the following Tuesday, November the 25th. So I thoroughly enjoyed this episode of NXT, and I liked it. I liked it. So before we get into the review, I want to say Happy Veterans Day to the veterans. Thank you all for what you guys do. Thank you. And for the ones that have passed on, rest in peace, rest in power, rest in paradise. So we did get some good video package of Veterans Day stuff on this show, which was good. Well, actually, that's how we started this show. So we got a good 30-second clip talking about Veterans Day and all that. So really good stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and get into NXT, shall we? So we kick the show off with Tatum Paxley and the calling. So Tatum Paxley, she comes out. She's basically really sympathetic as to what happened last week. She blamed herself. So then she realizes that it was all her fault. But she realized that Jacy Jayne forgave her. And because that's what best friends do. So Izzy wants Tatum to remember one thing, that she wants her to stay a champion for a long, long, long time. And that's only if you quit giving out title opportunities. So they kind of go back and forth for a brief moment. So then Jacy Jayne shows up. She says that nobody knows how Tatum feels more than her. And so she just basically tries to bait Tatum into giving her a title shot, which she does. She mentions how she lost at Halloween Havoc. And she mentioned how she carried the division on her back all year. So Izzy wanted to talk her out of it, but to no avail. And Jacy Jayne just wants Tatum to make her own decision, stand up for herself. She wants to get a rematch. She wants her to do the right thing, that being Jacy Jayne. And so Tatum says that she's going to have to be smart about who she gives an opportunity to, but she's going to be more selective. But she said it's going to happen right after New York. So she gives Jacy Jayne her rematch, but she also says that it's the last one, and she means it. So this makes perfect sense. I do like this. I really do. I wonder if Jacy will probably get called up after this. She probably will. I think it needs to happen. She's more than ready. Same thing with Fallon Henley. I think that those two kind of need to get caught up. If you want to reestablish a new version of Fatal Influence without Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley, that can, be arranged, or that should be able to be arranged, I would hope. But I think that those two are ready for the main roster. Jacy Jayne's been in NXT for years, about a good 4 to 5 years. And Fallon Henley's been in NXT for about a good 3 years. So I don't know, but I just see Jacy losing, and then I could see Izzy turning on Tatum next week. So let's just say, Tatum retains by some magical way, which she will. And then post-match, maybe you have Jacy Jayne attacking and taking out Tatum. And so that way, going into or setting up for the NXT's final pay-per-view of the year, which would be Deadline in December, that's what they should do, because that's their next pay-per-view. Well, that's their final pay-per-view of the year. So that's what we should be building towards. So we'll probably end up getting Tatum Paxley versus Jacy Jayne at Deadline. And that should actually begin next week once she retains the title. Okay, good stuff there. Good little segment to start the show. It's about a good 5-10 minutes. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Ava, she's backstage talking to the Vanity Project from Evolve. So, Jackson Drake says that Ava should have extended her gratitude for him defending the Evolve Championship at NXT Gold Rush. It's not like Ava could resist the hottest faction in Evolve. And the Vanity Project, they're going to Grace, New York City next week. The Big Apple are going to get a first-hand look at the future of NXT. Okay. So Ava bets that New York can't wait to see Shawn Legacy become the brand new Evolve champion, which I would agree with. I feel like since Jackson let that slip, more than likely he'll lose, and then he'll end up going to will get called up to NXT. I got a feeling that NXT is going to probably get quite a few call-ups as we progress towards the end of the year. We only have about a month and a half left of the year anyway, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get more call-ups. So then Ethan Page shows up along with Chelsea Green. Ethan Page says that Ava's the worst, which I would agree with. She sucks ass as GM. She really does. She brings the show down most of the time. So Ava's yet to congratulate Chelsea Green on becoming a 2-time Women's United States champion, joining Ethan Page in the Double Champ Club. Ava says that Friday was a big deal, but they should be focusing on their AAA mixed tag team defense next week at NXT Gold Rush. Alba Fire says there'll be no match next week because Thea Hill and Joe Hendry have no clearance. And she didn't mention Joe Hendry's name, so she kept on not mentioning her name during the promo, which was great. It was funny. It was pretty sure that there's security clearance or whatever Alba's talking about. If Alba Fire is so confident, then why won't she step in the ring tonight against Thea Hill? So Ethan Page loves this idea, but if Alba could eliminate the threat tonight, the better off they'll be in the end. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good shit there. Moving on, we get an exclusive interview from about John Cena. That was pretty cool. They talked about, his in-ring career and everything else and all the hard work that Cena put in. Okay, cool. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night. El Grande Americano is defeated by Jasper Troy. So Jasper Troy wins, which is insane. So that's crazy there. I didn't think that they were going to have El Grande Americano lose like this, but it makes sense. So he hits the Black Hole Slam for the 1-2-3. This is fine. It makes sense. They had to give Jasper Troy something. This gives him something to do. This puts him on the show more frequently. And I like it. So, maybe this is something that he can do for a while. Maybe they can end up... Maybe this can be a good stepping stone for him to move up to the North American Championship once Ethan Page loses. At some point, I think he would be a good successor to Ethan Page. I don't fucking know, but that's just what I am thinking about out loud. Because Jasper Troy should not be champion too long. Maybe a good 3 months of him being champion. Ethan Page at some point should be called up to the main roster at some point. Don't know when, but at least some point this year he should be called up. If not, definitely early next year. But Ethan Page has got to get out of NXT, even though I like his work with what he's doing with Chelsea Green. But he's ready for the main roster. Moving on. So Thea Hale, she's looking for Joe Hendry in the backstage area. So Joe Hendry shows up. All she had to do was look to her left. Joe Hendry thanks Thea Hale for last week. The energy she had coming out of that cake and pie facing the Secret Harvest, it truly inspired him. Joe Hendry couldn't ask for a better tag team partner. Going in the Gold Rush, Thea Hale says that she says, hell yeah. She's been waiting for a moment like this for a long time. Joe Hendry gave it gave it to here. Thea Hale says that they're going to become the new mixed AAA tag champions. And so Thea Hale believes in Thea Hale, and she believes in Joe Hendry, and she believes in the NXT universe. So good shit there. Okay. Moving on from that. So Ava is backstage talking to Sean Legacy. She said that Sean Legacy says that Gold Rush is the biggest opportunity of his life. He can't wait to put an end to Jackson Drake's Evolve title reign. Ava says that Gold Rush is shaping up really well. Sean Legacy and Jackson Drake are going to have an amazing match. So Ruka and Zarya, they show up. So Sean leaves the office. He hopes that Ruka's rehab is going super well because we all miss seeing her in action. So Ava reads the medical report. So Ruka is indeed cleared to compete, but it's tolerated. With that said, the decision's up to Sol Ruka. So Sol wants her title back next week at Gold Rush. Zarya says she would love nothing more than both of them to walk out of Gold Rush as champions, but she doesn't want Sol Ruka to rush things and make her injury worse. Ava says that Zarya has a point. They could wait for 2 weeks or have the rematch at NXT deadline, which is in about 4 weeks from now. So Sol Ruka is medically cleared, so it's her choice, and she wants Mariah May next week, and so the match is official because Ava makes it so. Okay, good shit there. Clearly, Zarya needs to turn heel. It's time. Turn Zarya heel next week. Turn her heel. You gotta fucking turn her heel. Enough of her being pushed to the side as a third wheel, basically. Zarya has not done jack shit in a minute, and she's been on NXT television for a while now. Like, she's been in NXT for not a year, but about a good maybe 7-8 months. She's been in NXT. She's not done really much of anything, right? Like, because Julia and Stephanie Vacker, they were skyrocketed. They were given the rocket basically day one. And Zarya really just was the odd woman out. So, you got to turn Zarya heel next week. Shawn Michaels, fucking do it. Moving on. Thea Hale versus Alba Fire. Thea Hale defeats Alba Fire. So, there is that. So Thea Hale wins the match via the Pop Rocks. All right, that's fine. Moving on. So Tatum Paxley's talking to Ricky Saints in the trainer's room. Tatum is really struggling on who deserves the title opportunity. Ricky knows exactly where Tatum is coming from. Is Trick Williams deserving of another title match? No. But he's deserving of getting his ass kicked. And just like next week, when Tatum Paxley did the exact same thing to Jacy Jayne. Ricky tells Tatum that she has to be the champion she wants to be. Nobody tells her how to be a champion. So then the calling, they show up. Izzy Dame says that she was looking for Tatum. Izzy tells Tatum it's time to go. So Nico Vance says they should leave the champ thinking about what's coming to him tonight. Tatum has one more thing she wanted to say to Ricky Starks, but Izzy Dame's not having it. Ricky says that Tatum is kind of weird, but he kind of likes it. Okay. All right. So basically, this leads us into a really cool backstage Mariah May interview. She's being interviewed. So she's just talking to herself, basically. And one part of her is dressed in all white or like gold or whatever. The other part of her is dressed in all black and stuff. It's really fucking cool. So she has a really cool dialogue and everything else. And she's just talking to herself, split personality or whatever. And basically, her dark self, her evil self, wants her to do what she needs to do to win next week. So the evil Mariah says Soul never lost her title. And I mean, you drove a wedge through Soul, Ruka, and Zarya's friendship, but you didn't tell them apart. The title isn't yours until you beat Soul. And so basically, Mariah says Spotlight needs darkness, and together they'll make one perfect champion. So I do like this. Is really good stuff. I like this. This was tremendous. This was really good shit here. Really good, awesome stuff here. More of this, please. More of this. I love this split, psychotic personality. You know, the devil on the left side, angel on the right. I love that. Really good stuff. Excellent shit. Excellent. This was tremendous. Moving on. So, Javon Evans, he's talking to Leon Slater on a cell phone. So Leon wishes that he was there. Javon Evans tells Leon that he's about to go to the ring and make a big announcement. So then this leads us into Jordynne Grace. She has an interview with Sarah Schreiber. She didn't say much of anything. She says that cheating isn't original. It's uninspired and lazy. Literally, anybody can do it. What's more important is what Santino Marella said about the triple threat for the TNA Knockout Championship at NXT Gold Rush. So before Jordynne Grace was an NXT superstar, she was a TNA Knockout. In fact, she was the TNA Knockout. The title is synonymous with her name. Before Klein Jordan even thought about stepping into a ring, she was flipping around Michigan State. Still flipping around Michigan State. Jordan was the Knockouts TNA World Champion. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. In 2 weeks, Jordan has the opportunity to correct a division and make history. To course correct a division and make history. As for Leiling Ling, she'll have to be collateral damage. Kalani keeps saying that the world is why she is the way she is now, but at Gold Rush, she can blame Jordynne Grace. Okay, good stuff there. I like that. Moving right along, this leads us into Javon Evans. He didn't really basically say much of anything. He's just really excited to face Gunther. He talked about Madison Square Garden and how it's been around longer than he's been born. He puts himself over for being 21. He's happy about that. So then Leon Slater shows up on the production truck. He says some stuff. They're talking about, Halloween Havoc and all that jazz and everything. So, basically, Javon wants to go after the announcement was that Javon and Leon Slater, they want to go after the NXT Tag Team Championships. The lights go out, so Dark State show up. They don't really say much of anything. They just talk shit to Javon Evans. And then a brawl breaks out between Dark State, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater. So Javon Evans and Leon Slater kick the asses of Dark States. Nothing more needs to be said. I'm not a fan of Dark State. I'm not. Disband the stable, please. Please, just do it. Moving on. So Trick Williams is talking to Klein Jordan backstage. Klein knew what she said about Trick last week, but the more she thought about it, the more she realized that he was right. It's lonely at the top, especially when you're a champion. You want to be successful. The only person you got to worry about is yourself. Trick's been saying for years. Kalani doesn't care about what anybody says. She's picking Trick tonight. Trick tells Kalani that she has to be selfish sometimes. That's why he's going to take care of Ricky Saints tonight. And next week, Kalani is going to take care of that triple threat match. Show everybody why Kalani Jordan is her. I like that. Why she's her. Moving on from that, this leads us into Fallon Henley defeating Skylar Ray. So I don't know who Skylar Ray is. She was basically on LFG. Who cares? It's not really that important. Fallon ends up winning via the famous. The match lasted, I think, maybe about 90 seconds. Wasn't really paying attention. Moving on. So Jasper Troy is backstage. He's basking in the glory of winning the Speed Championship in the NXT parking lot. So Jasper says that everybody in NXT is going to bend the knee. So Dark State, they ferociously storm out of the Performance Center. So Leon Slater, my bad. Dion Lennox says that they're gonna knock out Javon Evans and Leon Slater out their stocks next week. I thought what they did to the Hardys. Wait until you see what happens next week. So when Dark State strikes, nobody's safe. I don't care about this shit at all. Moving on. So Laney Reed, she slaps the shit out of Kendall Gray. They have a little brawl. So that's cool there. So Tavion Heights defeats Josh Briggs. I don't care about this shit at all. Who really gives a damn? Moving on from that. So we get some Miles Bourne and Ren Sinclair stuff, basically. Miles basically wants to get involved in the main event. Ava's like, no. So Laney Reed then slaps the shit out of Kendall Gray. I mentioned that. Because Fatal Influence, Jacy Jayne wanted Laney Reed to do something, to prove herself and everything, and she ended up doing that. Okay, so there is that. Main event of the evening, Ricky Saints, a.k.a. Ricky Starks, defeats Trick Williams. He is the last man standing. He ends up winning. The match was fun. A bunch of chairs, kendo sticks, and the like. Trick ended up hitting a couple of trick shots in the match. Ricky was able to get up before the count of 10. So Trick and Trick and Ricky were brawling in the crowd for a brief moment. So Trick was celebrating. He got too full of himself. He ate a nasty spear from Ricky Saints, crashed and burned to the announce table. And that is how Ricky retained the championship. He's the last man standing. Then Oba Femi shows up. His music plays, and that was it. So, good stuff. Glad that Oba is back. It makes perfect sense. I'm pretty sure he's going to probably be entered into the Last Time Is Now tournament. He'll probably end up being one of the guys thrown in. Don't know when that will be. And he needs to be the guy to end up winning the tournament, in my humble opinion. That's what needs to happen. But I did like this. Trick basically is on his way out. We could see Trick on the main roster as early as Friday. I'd be willing to bet money on it that Trick's going to go to SmackDown because Last Legend is there. I think that the best thing that he can do on the main roster is to kind of basically try to get back together with Carmelo Hayes and have them be a tag team once Carmelo is done with feuding with The Miz. So that's what I would do. I think that'd be the best thing for both guys to do. It really would. And it needs to happen. You know, Trick has done all he can in NXT. He's good at NXT. He killed it in TNA. Trick had a really good 2+ years. He's been really, really good for the last 2 years. Well, actually, Actually, he's been good for basically all of this year and all of last year. So Trick's been doing. He's been holding down the fort. Well, 2 forts pretty damn well. And going to the main roster makes perfect sense. But NXT, for the most part, was solid. It really, truly was, and I thoroughly enjoyed the show. So what did you guys think of NXT? Like, comment, subscribe, peace. And are you guys excited for Gold Rush? Peace.